What if I told you there's a hidden door right on your body, a key that's been waiting quietly to be touched, ready to unlock an ancient energy inside you? This isn't just a poetic idea, it's real. That key is located right at the base of your skull on the back of your neck. You've probably felt this spot many times without paying much attention to it. But now you're about to learn about its true power. Picture this. Hundreds of years ago, in places like the wide plains of Tibet, the temples of Karnak, and the jungles of southern India, wise people, mystics and sages, used a simple but mysterious technique. They didn't need words, candles, or long chants. All it took was a gentle touch on that one exact spot. With just that small gesture, they could break the barrier between what we see and what we can't see. They didn't spend hours meditating or waiting in silence. They simply touched that point at the base of the skull, and something incredible happened. Something that can't be explained by logic but is deeply felt in every part of the body. It was like a spark being lit inside. So why don't more people talk about this? Because this knowledge was kept secret. It's not taught in yoga classes or self-help books. This kind of wisdom passes quietly from person to person, from soul to soul, among those who are ready to remember. In this conversation, you'll find out what that hidden spot on your neck really is, and why ancient traditions called it a gateway between worlds. You'll learn how to safely and consciously activate it, to awaken the energy lying dormant within you. You'll discover what physical, energetic, and spiritual changes you might feel when you touch it, and you'll see how to bring this into your everyday life to find a deep sense of presence, clear inner focus, and expanded awareness. But be warned, once you activate this spot, there's no going back. You won't be able to live disconnected anymore. You can't ignore the part of you that's always known. You are more than just a body, more than a name, more than your story. You're about to cross a new threshold, and you'll do it with a single touch. Get ready, because sometimes the knowledge that changes your life doesn't come from famous teachers. It comes as a soft whisper from your own energy, awakening at the base of your skull. To truly understand the importance of this energy point on the back of your neck, you can't just look at it from a modern medical view. You have to dive into the deep history of ancient spiritual traditions, times when the body wasn't seen as a machine, but as a sacred map of the soul. Right where your head ends and your neck begins, ancient people saw more than just bones and muscles. They saw a doorway. This spot, which today we know as the occipital bone area, was believed in many cultures to be a passage, not a physical one, but a spiritual one, a threshold through which energy moves, rising or falling depending on your state of awareness. For example, in ancient Egypt, the initiates of the Temple of Karnak spoke of the eye of the nape. It was an invisible eye that stayed closed for most people, but opened for those who passed certain spiritual tests. This wasn't just a metaphor. Activating this spot was said to bring visions, psychic experiences, and what we might call today altered states of consciousness, though they saw it simply as reconnecting with the original vision of the soul. In traditional Chinese medicine, this spot matches the Feng Fu point, part of the body's energy channels or meridians. Feng Fu means palace of wind, and the name fits because stimulating this point was believed to release trapped chaotic energies that block the natural flow of life energy, or qi. But this point's meaning went beyond physical health. For Taoists, it was like a back door to heaven, a subtle link between the earthly world and Shen, which is universal consciousness. Even in Indian Tantric yoga, this area of the neck relates to the union between the throat chakra, Vishuddha, and the Bindu, a tiny, invisible drop that holds the memory of the divine. Some ancient texts say awakening this spot brings back a nectar-like essence that leads to natural bliss and a feeling of oneness with everything. So why isn't this taught more openly? Because this wisdom isn't something you just understand with your mind. It's something you have to feel deep inside. The ancients knew that the body has doors that open only from within, and this spot at the nape is not just a technique. It's an inner ritual, a quiet call from your own energy. What's even more amazing is that modern science has started to touch on this idea without realizing it. The area around this point is linked to the autonomic nervous system and the brainstem, which control balance, awareness, and senses. Research in neuroscience shows that gentle stimulation of this spot can change brainwave patterns and trigger states of deep relaxation or heightened alertness. Ancient traditions called this awakening. Today, science is slowly catching up. The point at the nape of your neck is more than just a spot on your body. It's a symbol with deep meaning. It's where the base of your skull meets your neck, but it's also a place tied to memory and awakening. Once you become aware of it, you can't ignore it anymore. Every major energy system in the world has a special point like this, a hidden switch that, when activated, wakes up energy that seemed asleep, brings back what was forgotten, and changes what felt stuck. The nape point is no different. In fact, it might be one of the most powerful because it's one of the least understood. This spot is seen in spiritual traditions as a crossroads of energy, but it's not just some mysterious, invisible place. It's a real physical spot on your body that connects directly to your inner energy channels. Why is it so important? Because three major pathways meet here. First, the spinal cord channel, known as Sushumna in tantric teachings, where the kundalini or life force energy travels upward. Second, the connection to the medulla oblongata, which controls automatic body functions like breathing, heart rate, and basic awareness. Third, the link to the body's electromagnetic field, sometimes called the aura, or more scientifically, the human biofield. When you touch this point with care and focus, you activate all three pathways at once. It's like pressing a button that starts up a machine that's been off for a long time, maybe even for many lifetimes. But this button isn't about force. It works through awareness. The touch should be gentle and respectful. You can use your index and middle fingers together, or the pad of your thumb if you want a firmer press. The key is not to push hard, but to press and release, like knocking softly on an inner door. Close your eyes, breathe slowly, and let go of any expectations. Just feel. What happens next? Usually, you'll notice a soft warmth spreading from that spot. Some people feel a tingling that moves up the neck or flows down the spine like a gentle waterfall. Others sense a subtle pressure, like something inside is unlocking. In deeper states, your whole body might feel surrounded by a vibrating magnetic energy. Most importantly, your mind starts to calm down naturally. This is the first sign of awakening. Instead of trying to control everything, the mind lets go. And when the mind quiets, a wider awareness emerges. But why does this simple touch have such an effect? Because the body holds secret maps of energy. This point in the nape is like a shortcut to your internal system. You don't need to activate every chakra or follow complicated breathing exercises. You just need to remember how to come back home. And this point is like a back door to that forgotten home. Touching this spot also helps the two halves of your brain work together better. The logical side and the creative, intuitive side start to communicate in harmony. That's when new ideas pop up, creative solutions appear, and answers that were once hidden become clear. This touch doesn't force anything. It invites, it suggests, and those who accept the invitation find out that their soul never needed to go anywhere. It just needed the right door to be opened. And that door is literally behind you. We've talked about its power, how to activate it, and the energy channels that meet there. Now, let's go deeper. If this point is truly a door, what's behind it? What forces get moving when you open it? And what risks or insights might come from crossing this threshold? First, understand that this point has two sides. It's not just a door that leads upward to expansion. It's also a door that leads inward to the deepest, often forgotten parts of yourself. When opened correctly, it doesn't just wake up energy. It also shines light on your hidden shadows. That's where real transformation begins. In many traditions, this spot is linked to the ability to see beyond the surface, not in a physical way, but by connecting to subtler levels of reality. When this pathway opens, your perception shifts. Your senses sharpen, time feels slower, and you start to notice things you didn't see before. Not because they weren't there, but because your awareness wasn't ready. Some people become more sensitive to the feelings of others, can sense future events, or pick up on energy patterns in people or places. This isn't imagination. It's what happens naturally when an internal circuit switches on after being off for a long time. It's like removing a blindfold from the soul's eyes. But just like any powerful tool, this access comes with responsibility. Activating this point can bring up old memories, hidden traumas, and deep patterns. This isn't punishment. It's part of the process, a cleansing of the energy channels. Think of it like an old pipe that hasn't been used in decades. When you open the valve, dirty water comes out first, then clean water flows. That's how energy works in us too. That's why it's important to combine this practice with stillness, mindful breathing, and if you can, journaling or quiet reflection. The sensations, images, and memories that come up after activating this point might not always make sense at first, but they carry messages. Those messages can help you change how you see and experience yourself. This point also works like a powerful amplifier of your intention. Have you ever noticed how, in moments of stress or clarity, people instinctively touch the back of their neck? That's not an accident. The body remembers. Once this spot has been consciously activated, it becomes a quiet power center that strengthens your purpose, draws your focus, and aligns your choices with your true self. It's also a little-known balancing center for your body, mind, and spirit. When you feel lost, disconnected, or overwhelmed, a mindful touch here can quickly bring you back to your center. It's not just about energy, it's about alignment. And alignment is what allows energy to flow freely without blockages. In advanced practices, some people report even more extraordinary experiences, seeing their own or others' auras, feeling themselves expand into the world around them, connecting with memories from past lives, or feeling deeply united with all of existence. This isn't magic, it's spiritual physiology. It's the art of activating the sacred within the physical body. It shows that you don't have to look anywhere else to find the divine. It's already inside you, right at the base of your skull. A spiritual insight alone doesn't change your life. What truly transforms you is how you bring that insight into your daily routine. Learning that there's a special spot at the nape of your neck that can wake up hidden energy inside your body is a powerful discovery, no doubt. But that knowledge only becomes real and meaningful when you use it in everyday life. You don't need to become a monk or have a special temple, incense, or bells. All you need is your body and your presence. Your true temple is your attention, and your altar is that sacred point where your head meets your spine. Here are 5 simple tips to help you turn this wisdom into a practical tool for transformation. First, start your day with a gentle touch. Make the first few minutes of your morning a small ritual. Before opening your eyes fully, bring your hand softly to the nape of your neck. Breathe deeply, press lightly on that spot with your fingers, and stay there for a moment. Don't think, just feel. With this simple act, you're telling your body that the day begins not out of obligation, but by choice. This morning touch helps align your energy, calms your nervous system, and awakens a sense of inner direction. Second, create a quick reconnecting ritual 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, and night. Pause whatever you're doing for just a minute. Bring your attention to the nape point. Breathe deeply and press gently with awareness. Notice how your energy shifts. This simple gesture centers your mind and reminds you that no matter the chaos around you, there's a deeper calm inside. Doing this regularly builds an energy compass, a steady anchor in life's storms. Third, activate this point before meditation or creative work. Before you dive into spiritual practice, art, or quiet reflection, touch the nape point with intention. It's like ringing a silent bell within yourself. You'll find your mind clears faster, distractions fade, and your focus deepens. Once awakened, this point acts like a conductor, organizing your energy so everything you do aligns with your true self. Fourth, use this touch as emotional medicine. Feeling anxious, sad, or stuck? This point can be your quiet healer. Instead of pushing away tough feelings, approach them gently. Press the spot with kindness. Physical contact with this center, especially when emotions run high, helps balance your inner energy. You're not suppressing feelings, you're giving them a safe path to flow through. Fifth, make sleep a doorway to healing and activation. Before you drift off, give your nape one last gentle touch as you breathe slowly. This can be the difference between restless sleep and deep restoration. This nightly ritual opens doors to your subconscious, inviting lucid dreams, insights, and deep healing. Sleep becomes not just rest, but a connection to your inner world. Remember, this isn't about doing more, but about doing what you already do with more awareness. Touching the nape point isn't a trick. It's a reminder of your energy, your inner strength, and the wisdom flowing through you like a quiet fire. Each time you do it, you're telling yourself, I'm not lost, I'm coming home. And sometimes that's all it takes to find your center again. This isn't an ordinary journey. If you've read this far, it means your soul has already started to remember the nape point. That quiet, almost forgotten spot isn't just an anatomical detail or a spiritual fad. It's a hidden compass pointing back to yourself. When touched with respect and awareness, it can awaken what's been asleep. Not because it's magical on its own, but because it helps you remember your original energy. That energy that flowed freely when you were a child. That knowing that didn't need words. That deep feeling of being connected to everything, which you might have thought was lost, but it never really was. In ancient cultures, this point was more than a physical place. It was the root of remembering, the antenna linking humans to the invisible spirit world. In the temples of Sumer, the sacred halls of Tibet, and the rituals of ancient Americas, this knowledge was passed from person to person, body to body, vibration to vibration. So why has it disappeared in modern times? Because we live in a world that disconnects us. We've been taught to think with the mind, but not to feel with the body. To collect facts, but not wisdom. To rush forward without pausing. To look outward and forget that the door was always inside. But now that you've found it again, there's no turning back. Your body remembers. And when the body remembers, the soul starts to come home. This practice doesn't demand fanaticism or perfection. It just asks for your presence, a commitment to your own journey, and the humility to realize that the most sacred place isn't far away in the sky. It's right here at the base of your skull. That forgotten bone hides a drum that's always been beating. Each time you touch that spot, you remind your energy of its path. You tell the universe, I'm here, present and ready. And the universe, which has never stopped listening, answers back. Now it's your turn. If this message touched something inside you, if you felt a vibration like an old string being tuned, please subscribe, like, and share this with others who sense there's more to life. This knowledge doesn't belong to one person. It belongs to everyone ready to wake up. And if you're reading these words, you already are. Remember, this isn't just a technique. It's a key, not a trend, but a legacy. Not something new, but something eternal that has only just begun. See you on the next part of the journey. Until then, touch with awareness, breathe with presence, and let your body guide you back home.